name's Nick. This is my mom.
Hello.
So I asked y'all questions of what you wanted to ask my mom in regards to my transition. And I have a whole list on my phone of what you asked, so let's just get right into it. I'm going to say a little backstory first. The way I came out was not ideal for her or me. So basically, I used to go to this church from the time I was 5 up until this happened. So I went to this church retreat, and it's basically a whole weekend thing. You go to this place called Great Wolf Lodge. It's like a giant hotel with a water park inside. It's really cool. So we went there for the whole weekend, and it's like 3 church campuses that go. So I only knew the people at my campus, and I had just figured out that I was trans, so I kind of wanted to do like a little trial run type thing to make sure like this felt right. Like I knew it felt right, but I wanted to see how it felt presenting as male at a place where not many people knew me, because like if I did it at school and then I realized all of a sudden it didn't feel right, I couldn't really go back from that. So I did that, and then someone like reported me to the pastor. These girls that I had to share a room with, they told them that I made them feel uncomfortable because of it. And so I told the pastor, I was like, listen, I'm 14 years old, I'm not ready to come out to my parents yet. This is me like trying to find my identity. I know I should not have done it here, like I apologize. Will you please not call my parents? And they said, yeah, we won't call your parents, it's fine. So they called my parents, and it was not a happy phone call. So was it hard to accept me at the start?
Not you in particular, but
Me
the
being
trans, yes, it was very difficult. And you've educated me and through a lot of therapy and counseling, and that sort of, that helped.
Okay.
It has never been accepting you. It's just been accepting the transition, because like I told you the other day, you will always be my child, no matter if you're a girl or a boy or whatever.
Yeah. And that's why you love me.
And that's why I love you.
Did you feel like you ever knew that I was trans?
Yeah. But you were always dressed, in black and with band tees. You never, once you started having a little bit more say-so on what you wore, you weren't always dressing girly or anything like that. But I don't think that, maybe I was just blind to it or naive. But no, I don't think that I ever thought you were trans.
Yeah. What did you do when I came out? When I was like outed.
At church?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost my shit. I blew up. Like, we have an extremely close bond, very close relationship. I can probably count on one hand how many times that I've yelled.
You screamed.
Or anything at him. Like, we
just
always had a very close relationship. But that particular day, this is a church that we've literally gone to since 2003. And so I didn't know. I was so mad. I didn't know which way was up. I kind of thought this was something for attention. I didn't know that it was actually a real thing.
What were your first thoughts? Like, everyone asked me that.
That it was for attention.
Yeah. What are your views on me starting hormones and getting surgery?
Obviously, I'm extremely scared about both. You hear horror stories about testosterone and what it can do to people and what it can do to people's personalities, and then I guess too, actually seeing and visualizing the change, that's going to be a little bit more difficult, because now it's not so much like, I guess it's kind of the difference between playing pretend and then it actually being real, and so that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
And then of course you never want your kid to go through surgery. That's terrifying alone.
How did me coming out affect your view on trans people?
I think that, well, I know that
it changed over time, I think.
Yeah. When you first came out, my view on trans people was that it was a sexual thing. Like, I didn't realize that it was actually the way a person feels inside. So I thought that when people were transgender, that it was for a sexual purpose, and so when you first came out, especially at church, I thought that it was sexual related. I didn't realize what it was. So back then, my view
Way
on
back in the day.
transgender was that it was basically sexual deviance, and now I realize that they're just people, and that it's the same as me being a girl. In a sense, I do realize now that it doesn't have anything to do with sexuality. It just has to do with what you feel, who you are on the inside.
What's both of our views on non-binary people? So I'll give mine first.
Are these questions that people actually sent you?
Yeah.
So non-binary are people that don't
They don't
identify with either gender.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard for me to identify with because I'm extremely girly.
Yeah, me too. Well, not girly, but
No,
it's hard for me to identify with.
This is probably my least girly outfit, and I still have bling on the hat. So, I guess, I'm 44, and in my day that didn't exist. So, I think that's kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around, that someone can feel like neither a boy or a girl. But, but then again, I have a tattoo artist that's one of my best friends in Denver, Colorado, and he does a lot of studying on Greek gods and on all kinds of stuff, and he can understand that and has explained a little bit more to me, but it's very hard for me to understand. But that being said, I'm also not judging, because it's not my place to judge, and I'm sure that people that are non-binary also deal with the same struggles of acceptance when it comes, just as transgender. So, I'm not saying that I judge it at all. I'm not educated in that, and I don't understand it.
My views are really similar. I've educated myself a lot on non-binary people. I have some non-binary friends. In my opinion, I think non-binary trans and non-binary gender non-conforming, I think those are two different things. Like I said in one of my other videos, I think you have to have dysphoria to be trans, and I think that goes along with non-binary people. If you're non-binary and you're calling yourself trans, you have to have a level of discomfort with your birth sex to be considered trans. So I kind of separate gender non-conforming from non-binary trans people. But regardless, I think that they're valid. Is there anything you can say to a young trans person whose parents don't support them?
The only thing that I could say to a kid who doesn't have support from your parents is to find an adult, whether it be a school counselor or a family friend or one of your friend's parents, somebody that you can talk to, because it can be a very scary, hard road and journey to go through, and I can't imagine a child going through that on their own without any kind of parental support. And I look back at the time that I did not support Nick, and it does break my heart. I think I kind of thought if I ignored it, it would just go away. And when I did leave Nick's dad, I had a lot of time on my hands, and so I, basically just started educating myself online and reading books and trying to learn more about it, and through that I did learn that it's not something that's going to necessarily go away. And so if you are a transgender kid out there and you don't have support of your parents, just find someone that you can talk to, an adult that you can share this journey with, and hopefully eventually, maybe through education, if you can help your parents find books or something that they can educate themselves, then, eventually they'll come around. But, just know that your life is more important, and that there is nothing that's too big that you can't get through, and there's no reason to feel like you're not good enough, or that you need to lose or end your life over this. And then the only other thing I would say to parents of transgender kids, if you are trying to support it and you're watching this, the biggest thing I can tell you is get therapy yourself as well, because for the longest time I thought that would be selfish if I tried to get or talk to someone about it, about how I was feeling. And now we go to a new gender therapist that's absolutely amazing, and he has helped me to see that I need that support too. And it's very true, you do, because it's like grieving the loss of a child. You haven't lost your child, and you still have that child to love and to hold and to kiss and to tuck in at night, but you are kind of, it's like a grieving process, because you're grieving the gender of what you gave birth to. I still have breakdowns all the time. It's very difficult. I get judged by other parents, you know, thinking that I'm just one of those moms that just lets Nick get away with anything, and that's not the case. But kids, you need to be extremely understanding and patient with your parents too, because it is not easy.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Thank you for meeting my mom. Everyone loves you. Like, everyone's really excited. Yeah. Everyone's always like, oh my god, I love your mom. Could she be mine? So, yeah.
Well, it was nice to finally meet you all.
And thank you so much for being in my video. I love you.
I love you, sweetheart. I'll always be here for you.
You're the best. Alright. Peace.